Today, I wanted to talk about hopelessness. Hopelessness. So, I really feel that hopelessness is it's something that you learn. It's not something that is, natural, I think. I think that naturally human beings and people, we all want to survive. We all want to be able to continue living. And I think the state of hopelessness is a truly sad and depressing place to be. And if you're suffering from feeling like you don't know where to go next, if you feel like, hey, shit, I am in one of the fucking worst positions of my life. And I cannot, for the life of me, see any light. I can't see any way out. This video is for you. Because I'm going to talk to you guys, somewhat about personal experience, but, about the concept of hopelessness itself. I don't think it's something that I've ever sat there and told myself that could be or would be a permanent state of mind or being. But the older I get, the more I feel like it was very easy to sink into negative thoughts and thinking. And the longer you don't pull yourself out of that, the easier it is for something like that to become almost permanent. So what is hopelessness, right? Hopelessness is the feeling that there is no reason for anything to go well, right? There's no way for you to get yourself to move in a positive direction, right? There is no hope. There is no saving the situation you're in, the things that are happening to you, the you being broke, the relationship struggles, the marriage struggles, whatever struggles there are. You're in a state now where you don't think that things are going to get better anymore. And man, is that a terrible feeling. It's one of the worst feelings that you can have, because if you don't have hope that you can improve things, then how are you going to essentially live? I feel like hopelessness is one stage, and then unfortunately, with enough of that going on, guys, you get some really bad stuff. And I'm pretty sure you guys can already think of what people do to themselves or to others when they feel like there is no hope for life. There is nothing positive they can gain from life. I first felt like this when I was maybe 16 years old. I've been confronted with a situation that I just could not fathom and was not my fault, and I did not do. But when it happened, I knew I had no control over it, and I began to obsess over control and how to have control and the things that I would do to prevent myself from being in a situation like that. And that's kind of how my whole life has been aimed toward. It's been aimed toward trying to be a person that no longer would be in that position. I always have to tell myself that when you are going through, and apologize if I'm speaking too much in abstract here, but when you are someone who feels like there is no hope, I don't have room to grow, right? I don't have room to try again. I don't have room to pull myself away from these bad situations. I thought that it was ridiculous. Some of the things I saw when I was younger, I was like, there's just no way that could ever be me, right? I had this arrogant attitude for a bit. And then a couple months passed, and then it began to sink in, right? I was going through something that I didn't know how to fix. And no matter what I did to fix it, it wasn't working. And that didn't last for months, but it lasted for years. And then you start wondering, okay, well, when is this going to go away? When is this negative feeling going to go away? When are things going to get better? It kind of blurred in with my life. and became a part of who I am and a part of what life is now. These terrible feelings are just never going to leave. What's the point of trying then? What's the point of trying to do better? What's the point of trying to move forward? I mean, they're always going to be there. The things that are haunting me. The past is an interesting thing, right? It can remind you of things that you do to prevent yourself from making new mistakes, but it can also remind you of your mistakes. And you can interpret that as, this is who I am. This is what I will always be. This is what I've always done. And if not mistakes, maybe just things that happen to you. Maybe you're just in a lot of situations and you feel super unlucky. And there's so many reasons, guys, I can tell you right now, that I should just give up. I'll be real. There's so many reasons that I should just give up on absolutely every single thing in my life. Everything, just throw it all, just fucking dust it. But I counter that with saying, who doesn't? Who doesn't have a shit ton of things in their lives that are great reasons to just phone it in and throw in the towel and just give up? There are tons of reasons for you to give up, valid reasons that make sense for you to completely stop, for you to never try again, for you to do the absolute worst to maybe, you could justify anything. And I genuinely mean that if you get to that point and if you feel negative enough. Now, just because there's tons of reasons why you should, maybe feel that way or have all these thoughts, that doesn't mean that there's equal, if not more, reasons why you should not, right? The reasons why you should have hope for the future. Reasons why you should keep going. Okay? Now, some things happen that just cannot be changed. That's the first thing that I think people should realize. There are some things that maybe you wanted to be a young athlete, and now you're old. You can't be a young athlete anymore. You're no longer young. Things change, and I think that's one of the most difficult things for people who are in a state of hopelessness. They feel like they've arrived in a place that is no longer escapable. It's too late now. It's over now. They're tired of trying. They're tired of doing things again and again with no results. They're tired of not being able to. You know what I mean? And I really want to emphasize that word tired, because that's really what it is. It's, you don't feel like there's a point in trying anymore. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's a reason that you should try this or that. I don't know your life. I don't know what your struggles are or how difficult it is. And I can only imagine the variety of different struggles that exist in the world. I will tell you that the answer to whether or not you should or shouldn't try, unfortunately, relies on us. And I say unfortunately because doesn't that fucking suck? You gotta sit there and you gotta think of this shit. Find a reason to fucking live, Find a reason to wake up in the morning and actually want to move forward. I shake my head because, man, that should really be hard for people like us. You know what I mean? That shit is really hard. And I get so envious and jealous when I see other people who don't seem like they have that. They don't. Is that just me? I look around and I see people like they just seem like they're just fine. They be living in shit. They don't be looking like, oh man, I can't believe I have to wake up and exist. It just feels so laborious for people who have kind of lost hope for life and for, really living the lives that they want. That's something else I want to highlight. Living life the way that you want to do the things that you want to. For some of us, losing that opportunity is absolutely devastating. I can tell you guys, for me, it is, because it's like I live my whole life with the purpose of things being a particular way that I've always dreamed, and for it to not be that, and for that to be the only thing I've lived for, is obviously very discouraging, considering that I don't have an infinite life source. So you just look back on life and you see all the things and you think, damn, maybe I wasted this, damn. And that's why I said time is just a really important thing. The way that you view it, the way that you view your experience is an important thing. Because I can look at everything that's happened and I can go, man, I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of fuel for life. I have a lot of failures. I have a lot of things that went wrong. And all of this is energy and motivation for me to use to push myself forward, to be better this time, to keep going forward. I can tell myself that. I could also adversely tell myself I've failed this many times. All this has gone wrong. This means that nothing's ever going to go right and I should give up now. And those are really the options. And really the problem is about hopelessness. The problem is about sinking into that place is you're allowed to be like a fucking degenerate, a piece of shit. I'll say it. You're allowed to do drugs. You're allowed to do whatever you want in the worst possible way, and you get to feel fine about it because, you know, you've given up. You've given up on everything. You're going to just do what you want now. All the fun stuff, all the dopamine raising stuff. Let's just do it because what else really matters? You know, that's why you got people, a lot of people in drug addiction and all of this. They're just suffering from some kind of mental illness or potentially just depression. They're just, I need these drugs so I can live and cope with my existence. Right? Like I need it. It's the only way I can handle what's going on. And that's something else too, man. There's some people who stop using drugs and then they think they can be sober, and it's just a battle they can't win. And again, it's really depressing to say, but it's also true. You know, you got to be kinder to yourself, and sometimes that means knowing that you might be so fucked up that it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. You got to be able to forgive yourself for how terrible that process is going to feel. Because I can tell you right now, for me, it feels absolutely horrendous. Feels so bad. But that's okay. Anyway, that is about all I want to say today on the topic of hopelessness. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.